Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk. Back again with you guys for another show to discuss Arsenal's game against Southampton. Your second upload of the day. I'm hoping that this one's a little bit more chilled out from me, seeing as the last episode was the last upload today was quite intense. So thank you ever so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that last video. So much that you gave it a like, and I hope that you're enjoying the content on the channel. That makes you want to subscribe and continue to watch us. On this show, if you haven't watched it before, as we preview the game, we look at the not predicted, but how I would personally line up. We talk about the predictions, about what might actually happen, and of course the final score, and get lots of your comments in our chat box as well. Mr. J says, have you calmed down yet, Tom? This life's pretty hectic at the moment, Mr. J, but I appreciate you asking. Let's talk about the game then. So we're playing against Southampton side that are on a decent run of form, it's fair to say. They're doing quite well. I'm not looking forward to this game particularly. I'm very, very scared of Danny Ings. It's fair to say. They had a very, very strong game against Norwich. And I'm not confident that we will come out with a win, to be honest. And yes, part of that is to do with Southampton's form, how good they are, but most of it is down to us. Most of it is down to our ability to win games and the current form and mentality of the team. However, I need to stress that this is an exceptionally important game, not necessarily because of the league, but we need to turn things around soon because this quarterfinal against Sheffield United on Sunday is really important. And if we don't get things right in this game, we can't really turn the confidence around and give ourselves a little boost before that game. I really worry because you can write us off and you can turn around and say that you don't want us to go forward and win that FA Cup, which I find silly. Some people don't want us to win it because it would put us back into the Europa League, but it is important that we're in Europe, no matter what competition it is, financially. And it could be that the FA Cup is the best route of getting back. Can you imagine at the start of the season we were sitting here going, right, the best route to get us back into Europe is the FA Cup. Wait, no, not the Champions League. To get into the Europa League, we have to win a cup competition. Unbelievable how things change so quickly. Let's get a couple more of your comments before I show you the lineup. Mr. J is not confident for this game. Joseph Maseko says, Jesus Christ is confirmed to be fit for the game, lads. Absolutely buzzing. Jesus is playing. Thibaut Pest goes, I think Shane Long will score again against us, even if he doesn't play. Because Shane Long never scores unless it's against Arsenal. Big Celt says, how can the fans affect change in the club in the long term? I'd say vote with your feet, but that's not really a relevant thing at the moment. Don't buy merchandise, don't buy anything. And just, back them from your home as best you can. Aditya says, heard Liverpool is heavily linked with Saka. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Saka is an exceptional player and deserves to be at an exceptional club, which Arsenal isn't right now. Jumberg Camp, fantastic name, says, it's all downhill from here, mate. We're handling our contracts to clowns, or we're handing our contracts to clowns. Yes, if you want to hear my reaction more to that, then watch the last upload. Let's jump into the predicted lineup for what I feel like is best for us rather than what I think will actually happen. Martinez in goal is probably the biggest talking point, considering that Bernd Leno is going to be out of this game, and luckily only for 4 to 6 weeks, which probably does rule him out for the rest of the season. But it's such good news to know that he will probably be back for the start of next season. We've gone for the same back four that I wanted us to go for last time. Bellerin, Mustafi, Holding and Tierney. This is more down to selective issues. The centre-backs, Mustafi and Holding, are basically our only fully fit ones at the moment, with Mari and Socrates and David Luiz being suspended. Chambers, of course, out as well. Tierney I've gone for because I just felt that Kolasinac really didn't have a great game against Brighton. I didn't think he impacted it as much as I've seen him do in the past. Now, I kind of like Kolasinac in certain games. Like, there's games where he's brilliant and he's running down the left wing and crossing the ball fantastically, but he just didn't do it, and I think I'd rather see Tierney come in. Guendouzi Ceballos, the midfield pivot, is so open, I know, and last week I said I'd rather see Guendouzi and Mainsley playing there. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if I'd even rather it happen, because Guendouzi, whilst he frustrates the hell out of me and he's a petulant, immature child, he is the only one showing any form of grit and determination, and that has to be something that you rate. So that's why I've gone for Guendouzi in there. Ceballos next to him is more down to wanting a pivot of someone that can take the ball forwards. And we don't really have too many options in there right now. Saka had an amazing game. He was easily the star of the show against what's their faces, Brighton. I've forgotten who they are already. Against Brighton, and for me, Saka is probably our most creative player and deserves to play in that number 10 role at the moment. And that means we can play Aubameyang out wide, Lacazette up top, and Pepe, because it's our best front three. Arguably, it's got the most goals in it, and I say the most goals. It's just simply not firing right now. We need to get it firing if we want to come through the Sheffield United game. Let's see what some of your reactions are to that. Big Celt says, I want to see AMN on the pitch replacing Ceballos or Bellerin. It wouldn't bother me to see him in the lineup at all. I think he probably would add a little bit more than Ceballos would in the centre of midfield. Save the Turtles says we need to try AMN with Guendouzi in midfield before the season is over. It's definitely something we need to try. I just think I'd maybe rather see it against Sheffield United, but what's the harm in trying to test it against these guys either? Avon says, I don't think this is far from the actual team because it would be too early for Xhaka, even though he's back in training. Yeah, I can't see Xhaka still coming back in for a week or two at least. As soon as the player's back in full training, it still takes at least usually about 2 weeks for them to actually get in the first team again. Future Technology says we should play Alba and Lacazette up front together in a 4-4-2. See, I'm really not a fan of the 4-4-2 formation because opposition teams can just disconnect the midfield to the front line and stop that sort of feeding of passes through the centre of the pitch really easily, and it's often then so much pressure is put on the wide areas. And if you've got someone like Pepe playing on the right mid who has to cut back all the time, it becomes exceptionally easy to stop and predict when you're playing with two up top. That's the issues I'll take with that. When you're playing in a 3, it enables you to back up that right winger that needs to cut back on the time, have a lot more overlaps. But if you overlap in a 4-4-2 system, it can often leave you really exposed on the counter-attack. Avinash Singh, one of our members, says Bellerin has been decent. So was Holding in the last game. I thought Holding was on the edge. I thought he really played to sort of the edge of what he's able to do at the moment. Coming back after a long layoff still, we talk about it continuously because we just haven't seen the same Holding that we saw before his big injury. Corey Burnside says, I would like to see Pepe and Alba up top with Laka and at Cam and in a Diamonds. Now, see, I'm just not a fan of the Laka at Cam because it's just sort of something I feel people try on FIFA. Something because he's not a Cam, he's not creative, he's not going to play that position. I don't really get it. I get the theory that he'd be a decent second striker and playing off the front line, but he's not creative enough for me to play in that position. Avon says, mind you, isn't Ozil fit now? If he is fit, great. In a way, can I see him playing? Would I play him? Or his attitude, supposedly? Probably not. Probably not at the moment. So, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of Ozil coming in with the whole mentality issue right now. T. Morgan says, I'd try doing anything to make Alba up top. He looks frustrated in the first 2 games, even if it's Saka at left wing. I have nothing against playing Saka left wing and about Alba through the middle. In fact, I've predicted, or rather, I've preferred it in a few of my lineups so far that we've done since restart. So that wouldn't bother me at all. Apologies about going past. GP says that defence is suspect. Yes, it is. But what else can we pick right now? That is our defence. That is our team. Our team is suspect. T. Morgan says, is tomorrow or Sunday a more important game? Sunday. 100% Sunday. Well, the league is done. Like there's no point worrying about the league now. It is done. It's just an experiment to see what can happen next season. Ross Taylor says, just play 2 up front. What do we have to lose? Arguably, it's a fair point. Maybe we can make the 4-4-2 work. I don't think we can, but maybe so. MYT says, I prefer Eddie over Laka. I would too, and that's why I'm going to put him in for the Sheffield United game. I'd rather see Eddie start against Sheffield United than Lacazette. That's how I personally feel. GP also says, hit that like button, lads. Yes, please do. T. Morgan says, we talked about that, and Big Celt says, same, agreeing with Eddie over Laka. So that's sort of where we're at now. And actually, that's a really decent point from Tebow, who says Xhaka brings a structure when we miss him. Never thought I'd ever be saying that. And that's the key point. And I know that I bang on about this all the time, but while Xhaka is arguably our best centre midfielder, he needs to be replaced because he's not amazing, and Arsenal should be having a better centre midfielder as their best midfielder than Granit Xhaka. But without him, we are not as good of a team, and we're really struggling. And I think it was such a huge loss to lose him against Man City. because he adds just that tempo and that passing that we need in this midfield, and he's really important. And it's a shame that I have to say that about Granit Xhaka, who clearly is so flawed on so many levels, but he is incredibly important to the way that Arteta wants to play. That's going to round us off. A very quick one to sort of do this. I've sort of talked about everything I wanted to talk about earlier on in the show, talking about Raul Sanllehi and the transfer stuff. If you haven't watched that video, please do go and watch it. Please share it around. I want to try and get it to as many people as possible. And fingers crossed, you never know. It may go and ever get watched by Raul and co. And maybe they'll change their ways. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Football's a funny world and anything can happen. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you again tomorrow straight after the game for the Raw Reaction show. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and turn those notifications on so you know when we go live or drop one of our shows. See you soon. And up the Arsenal. Nearly forgot that.